Okay. Lonzi?
No, thank you, Chair. Sifun is Aram, Chair. TTG Ngwenya. How many meetings of the advisory independent panel did you participate in?
I did not participate in any formal. I did not participate in any formal meeting of the advisory, though I have had discussions with various people about the process.
So there were no meetings?
That I attended, no.
So how do you think the 21 names came about? Because the report that we are getting, at least from all of you, even from the ones that are saying they didn't participate in meetings, is that the core business of this panel, because there's the functionary of the department fetching the nominations and whatever, but the core business of this panel was to arrive at the 21 names, which must then be appointed as chairs of SITA boards. The son of Gwede Mantashe was appointed as a result of this panel. Even the current, they just appointed now deputy minister. I'm waiting for her. Currently, the deputy minister was just been appointed. The former premier of the ANC in KZN was also appointed in those boards. So if there were no meetings, how did we get to those names? According to your understanding, as someone who has experience and has been dealing with this thing in the department.
I don't know what process will have been followed. Responding generally will be that the panel will have said it is not more making recommendations, because the mandate of the panel was to review the list of nominations and recommend a pool of suitable candidates from which the minister will finally make a selection.
But you're saying there was no meeting, DDG?
Yes, I've responded, Honorable Member, to say I don't know the process. The second part, I was just responding generally, but I have no idea.
And you have never received a meeting invite?
I should have been the one to set up the meeting invite.
Even worse, you are the one who was supposed to set up the meeting, but there was not a single meeting that set of the panel, but there are 21 names. The son of Gwede is there, ANC comrades are there, former premier of KZN is there, and the secretary of the panel, which is yourself, you are saying you never set up any meeting. Am I understanding you correctly, DDG?
Yes, Honorable Member.
No, thank you, DDG. Mr. Chief of Staff, how many meetings did you participate in the panel?
Honorable Member, like I said in my letter, I was not part of the panel for the board chairpersons. So
Were you sent a letter to appoint you?
May you please repeat that?
Were you sent a letter to appoint you to the panel?
No.
But your name was on the list?
Yes.
How did it arrive there?
My name was there because I participated in the selection of SITA accounting authorities.
Yeah, but our request, if you listen to the portfolio committee meeting, was specifically on the point of the accounting authority chairpersons. We don't dispute the process of accounting authorities. The coordinator of SITA has explained it to us. He was here to say you will gazette. All of you, we know you would have participated. We're not discussing that. We're discussing the board chairpersons. Your name appeared as having participated in that process, and you are saying you didn't participate. So how would you explain? How did it get there?
Like I said, the minister put my name there not because I was part of the chairpersons, only the members. The only thing I would have done in the process of chairpersons was to receive the communication to the minister, not that I participated in any selection of the.
But the minister was asked about the panel of chairpersons and said you are in the panel of chairpersons. We're not talking about the other ordinary board members. The panel of chairpersons was very specific, and your name was there, and you are saying you didn't participate in it.
Honorable member, I cannot respond on behalf of the minister, so I don't know.
No, thank you very much. Lastly, Mr. Solani, how many meetings of the panel did you participate in?
I think honorable member, as the secretariat of the panel would have mentioned that the secretariat would have been discharged with a responsibility. One, to take the minutes, also to convene the meetings of the panel.
So, okay. So you are concurring with the secretary that there was no meeting?
Please, honorable member, can you allow me to make my point?
I don't have time. That's why. So I just want the questions to be, responses to be pointed. I'm left with less than 50 seconds. Because if you are captured by the secretary, then I want to move on. That there was no meeting of the panel.
Yes. If the secretariat of the panel did not convene the meeting, therefore there was no meeting of the panel.
And you also would know this because you've never sat in one.
Yes.
Yeah. So you don't need the secretary to confirm it. You know yourself that you never sat in any meeting, so there was no meeting.
The point honorable member was trying to make is that even if we were to sit a meeting, if the meeting is not convened by the person that is discharged with that responsibility, the legitimacy of that meeting becomes questionable.
Last question to the DG of the department, then I close, Chair. DG, now we've asked everyone in your department. The coordinator of CETA spoke to us last week. Advocate Tari spoke to us. The DDG, Chief of Staff, including the advisor. Because remember, part of what we're trying to achieve here is that we don't want this to repeat itself. That's why we insisted to conclude this process. It's not about the minister. It's not a personal battle. We're trying to create a law and a legislation that is going to guide the future appointments of CETA board chairpersons and the like. So my question to you then is, if there was no meeting of the panel, if the secretary never called any meeting, effectively there was no panel, where do you think those names would have come from? And as a follow-up to that, how would you advise that moving forward, this process must take place? Thank you, Chair.
Thank you very much, Honorable Member. It is very clear to me from what the colleagues are saying that there weren't any meetings that were held. So clearly, I think answers about names that were considered could come from the accounting authority, who then produced the list that was tabled to the National Skills Authority. Because the first time I saw the list was when I attended the meeting of the National Skills Authority, at which it was tabled for approval.
Okay. Kize.
Thank you very much, Chair.
Yeah, your time had long expired, so it's grace. I'm giving you from my. No, now you are abusing it. DG.
I think I could answer on behalf of all DGs because the answer will be the same. It's important to give the accounting officers the responsibility so that you hold them accountable or administrative processes. So going forward, I think what will happen is that we'll have to follow the law, follow the policies, follow the prescripts of the law in terms of how these processes are. If we are unhappy with the processes, we amend the law and follow it because it assists the transparency of the process. But we must also allow for innovation. For example, I have no problem with an issue of an independent panel. I can tell you, I have run national exams for this country for more than 20 years. Independent panels of examiners is what I've been doing over many years. We've developed processes for developing them. There's never been controversy. Instead, integrity of those processes has been the cornerstone of and hallmark of our processes. So I never had a problem with the notion of an arm's length team of people who have the expertise to support the minister to arrive at a set of recommendations. So going forward, I will still propose some kind of process a little distant from just the people who are there to process matters. I will still recommend that we write it in the law that such a panel is established. If we write it in the law, it will assist us to hold them accountable should anything happen in that regard. Thank you.
Kize. Thank you very much, Chair. I will start with Mr. Solani. Greetings, member. Here you stated in your letter that you participated in the committee as an advisor to the minister. May you please share with this committee, how was your participation in the process?
I think it becomes because I would have been playing a responsibility of being an advisor to the minister and ultimately had received a appointment letter for advisor of the panel. So now it becomes very, especially in an event where the panel did not actually convene, to then say distinguish some of the responsibilities that we have discharged. But I would have been playing a role of being able to communicate as well with other members on certain interventions and what minister would have requested that must be done. So it becomes a thin line, in particularly in a process that we're saying there was never a meeting that was convened to sit as a panel.
So basically, advisors provide technical advices, technical, procedural, as experts. I'm just looking to those specifically. Did you perhaps, one way or the other, give an advice or a recommendation of a particular candidate to be appointed after your expert consideration?
So the honorable member is asking if I would have given a particular name or recommended.
Yes, as an expert, because that's why you're an advisor. Did you, one way or the other, advise the minister to appoint a particular candidate as per your expert understanding?
The process would...
Switch off your mic, yeah. Let me protect the member. They are here as panelists. So they are here to speak on the roles that they've played as panel members and not as advisor or chief of staff. Even their letters that we had written, the invitation is clear. We want to know their roles or the roles that they've played as panelists. So let's stick to the issue of them being panelists and not
No,
as
Chair.
an advisor.
On the letter, he's saying he participated as an advisor. That's what he's saying himself in the letter. That's why I seek to understand how was your participation as an advisor in relation to nominations that were there, if you gave any technical advice to appoint a particular individual. But Chair, I'm willing to let go of this question if perhaps the respondent may not be able to answer.
I think, like I would have mentioned, the tricky part or the difficulty or the thin line would have been panel member and an advisor on the side.
So there was some confusion going on there.
I would not say confusion. I did not mention.
Please characterize it, sir.
That is why I've characterized it that there is a thin line. That is my characterization of it. It's not. So it
Let
then
me move, honorable member, respectfully. So, if you could clarify as well, did you play any role in the approval process of nominees? It's a yes or no kind of a question.
and unfortunately, member, I would have to respond, and please allow me to do that. I think if the panel have not said to convene and recommend, and so it means that that part is out. Secondly, the question of approval of names is solo on the powers given by the Skills Act to the minister. It's a minister that would have approved names. I do not have the capacity to approve names.
Okay, thank you, member. May I move to Ms. Rulani Ngwenya? And you are stating in your letter that you participated in providing secretariat support function, but you were not involved in the approval process of nominees. Are you aware of any of such process that took place? If yes, may you please clarify for this committee, what was that approval process, if any, took place?
Excuse me. Thank you for that question. I don't know what the approval process that will have been undertaken. My role was to support the chairperson, convene the meeting, and make sure that there are records of the meetings. The understanding, and I'm saying this as a practice of what will have happened in other committees, was that at the conclusion, a report will then be generated. And the chair was going to guide on who signs the report. And the chair will then hand over the report. That is a standard practice. But in this case, Honorable Chair, I do not know what process was undertaken to facilitate the approval.
So
In my capacity as secretariat of the committee. I apologize. I apologize sincerely.
no, I think I got the response. For the sake of time, Chair, and I hope you paused when you were talking, Chair. So I will move quickly to, okay, before I move, I just want to put on record, Chair, that it seems nobody knew what was the process and if it took place. And that should speak volumes to how the minister conducted herself. If the technocrats around her were really clueless if things happen and what processes are followed. I'm moving to the last point. I'm going to Ms. Nedisiwe Semane. You are putting in your letter, ma'am, that you did not participate in the selection and recommendation of SETA's Accounting Authority chairpersons, but you participated in the recommendation of SETA's accounting authorities, not board of chairpersons. Are you aware of any meeting which was dealing with the board of chairpersons? If yes, how how was it conducted and who took part in making sure that it is organized?
Thank you, Honorable Member. No, I'm not aware.
Of any. So clearly, Chair, things were happening in the evening somewhere. And that should somehow be part of our substantive report as the committee. Because clearly, there's no crime scene here that is identified. There's no process spoken to. Obviously, you can see how the greatest son or child got into
Thank you
the
very
board.
much.